Hey there, so about a week ago, I got a chance to meet with an Aboriginal educator. Her name is Chas Dejarlais. She's from the Cree descent, and I'd like to apologize ahead of time for the poor quality of this video, and here's how it went.
About everything. I know a little bit about um, the highway of tears of young women going missing, and that's just a smaller piece of the whole. When we look at missing and murdered Aboriginal women, girls, children, and even men are part of that discussion. I think that whole, we've just been able to really kind of define like a place to say this is where our women have gone missing, right? And it's really kind of unresolved, and that it's sad that to think that people are targeting Indigenous women, because when we look at Indigenous women, like for myself, it's sad because we consider ourselves life givers. As women, we're very powerful. Like even in our communities, we are considered life givers. So if our women are going missing and they're dying, that means that we're not able to sustain our people, because it's really the women who sustain the people, right? It doesn't matter what nation you come from. All women, like Indigenous women, we're the life givers. So it's really sad that some of our women are being targeted in that fashion, and that the response by governments or by police, I think we need to take a stronger stance and look into this a lot more, because it will continue. The violence against Indigenous women will continue until we as a whole, as a community, whether we be Indigenous or non-Indigenous, stand up together and say this is not acceptable.
Do you find it controversial how the government didn't really take action until they found out white women were missing, and they didn't really just care about the Aboriginals?
Yeah, well, that is controversial. That's saying that we're less than, Euro-Canadian women. We're less than, right? I don't care if women went missing, if they went missing from the downtown east side, or if they went missing from the Highway of Tears, or they went missing somewhere else in the world. We're all women. We shouldn't be defined by who we are and where we come from, and it should not be prioritized by the government to say, oh, these women are more important, so we're going to look at this, right?
Yeah.
We're all women, and these women come from somewhere. These women have connections. These women have mothers. These women have grandmothers. These women have children. These women have husbands. These women have brothers. They have families. They have communities. So when our women are lost, whether it be women who are non-Indigenous or women who are Indigenous, that's a deep blow, right? So the government should be, obviously I'm concerned because our women are still going missing, right?
Yeah. So have you been affected by it personally? Do you have any family, friends, or relatives that have gone missing on the highway?
No.
No.
I'm not from that area. I don't have family connections up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have I don't know anybody who's went missing. But I do take great concern that when Indigenous women go missing, that hurts me, because that's a sister that has been taken. I don't see it as, oh, that's just, she's a part of our family. So when one goes missing or many goes missing, it hurts everyone. It hurts us as women.
Do you think the government's taken the correct steps to finding them? They started a project in 2005, but then their first murders happened in 1969, so that's a 40-year gap kind of. Do you think they're doing a good job trying to crack down the murders, or?
I think, the government and police agencies can only do so much. It's how people have to change their mindset about how they value women, how they see the value of women, and how they think about violence against women. Because if you don't take it to that level and you just expect government organizations or police organizations to deal with that, it really comes down to how do people value Indigenous women. If Indigenous women are being targeted and they're being murdered or they're being, kidnapped, really it comes down to how do people see us and value us on this earth that we live on. So obviously there needs to be some like changes in the mindsets of how we go about thinking about Indigenous women, right? And that could take a long time. And I think the government now, this new Liberal government is, I think they're going about it in a right way. They need to hear the voices of the families who've lost women, right? And really truly hear their voices and the impact that it's had on their communities, right? Because often there's lots of disconnect between political organizations and, communities, right? So,
Do you find that people are like too?
how many questions do we have left?
I have like maybe just one more.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you find that like in our modern society, people are like too quickly to judge Aboriginals on like just thinking that they're like improper, and that like they maybe just like say they just like use welfare and they drink, and like those kind of stereotypes? Do you think people are
Yeah.
like too quickly to judge on that?
Oh yeah, for sure. People are ill-informed, and that comes down to how they were taught about and what type of relationships do they have with Indigenous peoples. I experience it every day. The fact that when people know that I'm Indigenous, they've already have preconceived ideas about who I am, where I come from, right? I don't have the privilege of walking this earth every day and not having somebody think something differently about myself that other people do, right? So it really comes down to people need to learn more about the culture or in the history of this nation and how it was founded on First Peoples. And that, as a people, we are resilient. And that there's just a lot of other things that they need to learn about. They need to learn about colonialism. They need to learn about privilege. They need to learn about, what does it mean to be a good ally as non-Indigenous people, right? So.
Yeah. So I got one more quick question.
Yeah.
So like, what advice would you give to those young Aboriginal kids that are like facing that are getting bullied because they're Aboriginal and because of their background?
You know what I say to them? Be proud of who you are. You come from a strong people who had been here since time immemorial, 10,000 years. We have a history, whether you want other people believe that or not, that we are a proud people and we should stand up with our head held high. We have our ancestors who walked the path before us, who were strong and proud, and we need to continue to walk that path as young people. And it's hard. It's hard when people judge you, their predisposed ideas, their biases towards you, just by the sheer fact that they know that you're Indigenous or Aboriginal, right? So it has to take other people to learn about themselves too, right? And why are they thinking this way? What has informed their thinking to think that they have a right to think about Aboriginal people in this context, right? So that's a personal journey for everyone.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot.